Hello channel viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, I want to address the concept of MBTI, test-retest reliability first. So many psychologists actually do not think that MBTI is a valid concept. They may think that MBTI is a pseudoscience. Why? The main reason is because the MBTI test-retest reliability is quite low. Test-retest reliability is a concept whereby you test an individual and then 3 months later you test the same individual using the same MBTI test and you realize that they have given you different results. So maybe on the first session you are an INFJ, then on the second session you become an INFP. So this is totally a different result. And as a result, when many people give the same different results, the test-retest reliability of MBTI will be low. Given that psychologists believe that personality is stable and doesn't change over time easily, a low test-retest reliability suggests that the MBTI test is not valid and not reliable. But of course, if you are watching this video, I think you would believe that MBTI has its merits. It's just that the test itself, the MBTI test, the paper and pencil test version or the electronic version just doesn't really capture personality well. But the concept of cognitive functions and cognitive stacks is definitely very valid. So in this episode, I'm going to describe 3 different types of inconsistencies from a psychometric and psychologist point of view that may have contributed to the test-retest reliability being low for the MBTI. So I believe for the many viewers over here, you're going to learn a lot in this episode. So the first problem with the MBTI test, I call it the situational inconsistency. So due to different circumstances, you may have actually chosen different responses for the same item. So this could be deliberate or not deliberate. So sometimes we do have deliberate attempts to change our personality, especially for job interviews. So P-type individuals may want to portray themselves as more stable, more reliable. They do not want to go parties often, that kind of a thing. So they may actually write their responses in such a way that they think what their employer wants them to be like. So this could be very common because there is an inherent flaw in all self-report inventories. So employers, you should not use MBTI test as an assessment for your future candidates because it is prone to impression management. But sometimes self-report discrepancies can also be non-deliberate. So for example, imagine an introverted lady, an introverted girl. She just gotten into a honeymoon period with her new boyfriend. She used to be very introverted, but the boyfriend is extroverted. The boyfriend brings her out to many social activities and meeting his friends, and curiously, she sort of liked it. Why? This is because, of course, she is in a honeymoon period. She's willing to do everything for love. So 3 months ago, she may have responded no to I really enjoy going to parties. But now, she will respond yes, because she thought about it and she realized that it's not that bad after all and I quite enjoy it. So from introvert, she might actually be typed as an extrovert. But of course, this is not a stable state. After the honeymoon period is gone, she will realize that it is better for her not to attend any parties at all. The second type of inconsistency, I call it the turbulent inconsistency. This is especially salient when the instrument does not capture the assertive or the turbulent dimension. So take ENTJs for example. This is the distribution of resources allocated to the 4 functions on the cognitive stack of the ENTJ assertive. And ENTJ assertive uses NI much more than SE. But on the other hand, an ENTJ turbulent may use NI and SE almost equally. So this gives rise to the possibility that the ENTJ may be typed as an ESTJ for the ENTJ turbulent individual. So I'm only using ENTJs for example, but you get the drift. Another source of discrepancy could arise from the superego or the devil. So in our last episode, I described there are 9 different levels for every MBTI type. So 1 being your ideal, and 1 being your very best, and 9 being your very worst. So as an ENTJ, I have experienced myself to be very altruistic, feeling lots of love, and that's at level 1. I've also experienced myself as a very revengeful, vindictive angry individual, and that's at level 9. But these are actually your superego and your devil respectively. So take the ENTJ for example. The superego for the ENTJ is the ESFJ. So for any MBTI type, just stack your 8, 7, 6 and 5th function in order and you're going to get your superego function. This is the best version of yourself. So for the benefit of viewers who do not know your shadow functions, I have actually compiled a list so that you know what your superego function is, and here it is. So of course, taking ENTJ for example, we are not going to be like the ESFJ totally, but we are more willing to share, we are being loving, we care about the society. Okay, this is a rare state. Your devil function on the other hand is obtained by reversing your quantity stack. 4, 3, 2, 1, you put it in order, that will be your devil function. So for the ENTJ, that will be the ISFP. So how does the superego function and the devil function really affect your typing? Because your superego and your devil are really very extreme parts of yourself, they get remembered. So our memory is very selective. We tend to remember things that are very unusual. And when we are not very usually altruistic, we tend to remember that, hey, we once were. And we think that we have the potential to be. Sometimes when we sort of like, we remember such an incident, we note it down. But of course, this caused a deviation in our typing. So in this case, we are looking at an inherent flaw in the MBTI because of self-reports. I would say that MBTI may be more accurate in typing individuals that are assertive in nature, that means to say they are the -A type instead of the turbulent type. It may also be better at typing individuals who really know who they are. So this is no longer a matter whether somebody is honest with themselves or not. They are really individuals who don't even know themselves. Okay, I hope that this episode has given you some insight as to how come the MBTI may be regarded as unreliable, because there is this potential for it to be. But nonetheless, if you understand cognitive stacks, then MBTI is still a very useful, valid concept. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you are a new viewer to this channel, do consider subscribing so that we can give you more MBTI, ENTJ, INTJ and fun stuff. Alright, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.